This is Journey Through John. We're looking at John chapter 12, verses 12 through 19. And the background here is fascinating. We're going to go to Zechariah 9, and I'm going to read verses 9 through 13 here in Zechariah. This is a future prophetic look at some judgment on Israel's enemies. Let's pick this up. It says, "Rejoice greatly, O daughter Zion. Shout aloud, O daughter of Jerusalem. Behold, your king is coming to you. Righteous and having salvation is he, humble and mounted on a donkey, on a colt, the foal of a donkey. I will cut off the chariot from Ephraim, and the war horse from Jerusalem. And the battle bow shall be cut off, and he shall speak peace to the nations. His rule shall be from sea to sea, and from the river to the ends of the earth. As for you also, because of the blood of my covenant with you, I will set your prisoners free from the waterless pit. Return to your stronghold, O prisoners of hope. Today I declare that I will restore you double. For I have bent Judah as my bow. I have made Ephraim its arrow. I will stir up your sons, O Zion, against your sons, O Greece, and wield you like a warrior's sword." This key line, "Behold, your king is coming to you, righteous and having salvation is he, humble and mounted on a donkey, on a colt, the foal of a donkey." That's the background. Jesus is about to ride into Jerusalem. I'm going to go ahead and read the front end of this. You're probably familiar with the story. It's the Palm Sunday story. The other Gospels capture lots of other details, and it's fascinating when we try to put all that together, but I think it's also important to focus on what John wants us to see in his account. And while the other details are helpful, let's just dial in here. This is John chapter 12, verses 12 through, I'm going to go all the way through, we're going to go through 19. "The next day, the large crowd that had come to the feast heard that Jesus was coming to Jerusalem. So they took branches of palm trees and went out to meet him, crying, 'Hosanna! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord, even the King of Israel.'" Quick pause. Hosanna means bring salvation now. "And Jesus found a young donkey and sat on it, just as it is written, 'Fear not, daughter of Zion, behold, your king is coming, sitting on a donkey's colt.'" That's what we read. "His disciples did not understand these things at first, but when Jesus was glorified, then they remembered these things had been written about him and had been done to him. The crowd that had been with him when he called Lazarus out of the tomb and raised him from the dead continued to bear witness. The reason why the crowd went to meet him was that they heard that he had done this sign. So the Pharisees said to one another, 'You see that you are gaining nothing. Look, the world has gone after him.'" So John has chose to quote that line from what we read in Zechariah 9 right here. And he's saying what Jesus is doing is a fulfillment of that. And they didn't understand that at the time. Nobody did. Verse 16, "His disciples did not understand these things at first, but when he was glorified, then they remembered that these things had been written about him and done to him." So they didn't remember at the time, and now they're remembering after the fact. They're bringing this all together. John is drawing our attention to Jesus being the fulfillment of that king, and not the king that came on a war horse with a great chariot, but a humble king that came riding on a donkey. Jesus seems to be okay. These people are identifying him as king. Remember back in John chapter 6, they wanted to make him king. Well, he was already going to be the king. You can't make him do anything or be anything. But they're now identifying him as the king of Israel, and they're identifying him as the son of David that's going to come. Now, they probably thought this was going to be political liberation, and he's bringing like a spiritual salvation and liberation. It's interesting to me also that all those people that saw Lazarus being raised from the dead are the ones who've been telling everybody, and because they've been telling everybody, these massive crowds have shown up, bringing these palm branches and crying out that the king of David, the king of Israel, the son of David, is here. And so that witness is still going out. You can't stop this thing. These Pharisees wanted to kill Lazarus, but the witness is still going out, even without Lazarus being present. Not that they killed him at that point. It doesn't say they did. And it's that sign that is testifying to who Jesus is. So remarkable things happening on the aftermath of such an amazing event. That's just really worth our consideration.